Here the problem reads, throughout the school year, Mrs. Tanaka's students earn points by reading books. The chart below shows some of the books Karen is interested in reading. And here we see a table with a set of book titles, the number of pages for each book, and the number of points given for each book. And we read further. Look at Karen's list of books. She thought she would have to read more than 1,500 pages to read them all. Use estimation to decide if Karen's number is reasonable. Show your work. And then we need to answer this question. Is Karen's number reasonable? So let's begin by highlighting the key parts to this question. Down here we read, look at Karen's list of books. She thought she would have to read more than 1,500 pages to read them all. That's key. The part about using estimation to decide if Karen's number is reasonable and show our work is key. And then answering this question, is Karen's number reasonable? That's also key. So let's do the work of estimating how much she would need to read, and then we'll be able to answer the question. So the book Red Dog has 176 pages. So if we round that, we would round it to the nearest, say, 100 pages. That one's getting rounded up, and that's rounded 200 pages. Swiss Family Robinson is 384 pages. To the nearest 100 pages, that would be 400 pages. So far we've rounded two of these up. Holiday Inn has 200 pages. That one we don't need to round. Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim, that's 248 pages. To the nearest 100 pages, that one would actually get rounded to 200. So finally we've rounded one book, the number of pages down, but all the others up. And then Frozen Fire and Mouse and the Motorcycle both would get rounded to the nearest 100 pages to 200 pages each. So let's just double check these before we add them. Red Dog, we rounded up to 200. Swiss Family Robinson, kind of a long book, 384 pages, got rounded up to 400. Holiday Inn didn't have to get rounded. Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim got rounded down. And then Frozen Fire and Mouse and the Motorcycle both got rounded up to 200. So let's add these up. 200 plus 400 is 600, plus 200 is 800, plus 200 is 1,000, plus 200 is 1,200, plus 200 more is a total of 1,400 pages. So my estimate is 1,400 pages. So then the question, is Karen's number reasonable? Well, I would have to say no. It's not reasonable, and here's why it isn't. Well, my estimate is 1,400 pages, and I actually was rounding up for most of my answers. So her estimate, Karen's estimate, would not be reasonable because my estimate is considered high and her estimate is even higher than mine. So her number, her estimate, is not reasonable.